Welcome back to 5 Elements Tactical: self-defense, home defense, prepping, and survival. So today we're talking about hyperinflation. So I think just the other day I read that inflation here in the United States reached 9.1%, which just a few months back it was 6 point something percent, which was a historical high since I think 1982. And when it hit 6%, I was like, oh my God, like the world's gonna end. And we're at 9%, and there's no signs of it stopping. So today we're talking about 5 tips that could help you or help anybody kind of prepare for hyperinflation, which would be this, only way worse. But if we don't start prepping for it now, it might be too late, if it's not too late already. Stay with me. What's up, warriors? This is Kyoshi, Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training, here to share with you some warrior skills and drills that anyone can learn and everyone should know. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and thanks for stopping by. If you already follow us on social media and that's how you found your way over to this channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell notification button and the little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops, and you get all sorts of cool content from here as well. So for anybody that doesn't know, inflation in and of itself is just like the cost of everything going up and up and up. So in case you haven't been to the grocery store, the gas station, the lumber yard, the gun store, needed to buy like even the most basic of necessities, pretty much worldwide, it's crazy right now. I feel like months ago we were making videos on like inflation and how to prep for that and like defend against that or whatever, and it just keeps getting worse. And again, I'm not a sky is falling guy. I'm not like friends and family and students of all the different disciplines that I teach, they kind of come to me for knowledge and guidance and whatever advice I could offer them. And oftentimes I get plenty of advice and tips from them as well. But they come to me to kind of like help keep them calm. And I like to think on the outside I'm pretty calm, cool, and collected usually. But lately I'm just like, what the hell is going on? Like, what is going on? Food, groceries, first aid and medical supplies, and prescription medicines, and over-the-counter medicines, and gas. Man, I drive a Chevy Suburban. It gets like 6 blocks to the gallon, and every time I go to the gas station, like I'm supposed to look at like $4.60 a gallon, and be like, oh wow, it's down right now, it's on sale, way to go. And I'm like, no, that's not okay, when just a couple of years ago it was $2 a gallon. So if the prices aren't going to come down anytime soon, we have to try to figure out the best way that we can defend against that, or kind of prep for that, or take the amount of money that we have and make it stretch a little bit further by shopping on sale and looking for buys and doing without, and maybe skipping some trips to the restaurant or the movie theater or takeout or whatever, and learning how to almost like a lot of the preppers that watch my channel, they're like super duper gung-ho about like SHTF when it really hits the fan, and after the apocalypse and all this stuff. And you guys are rock stars, man. Like, I feel like I'm not nearly as prepared as a lot of you guys out there, but I think we need to like kind of walk our talk a little bit more. And hey, if it is hitting the fan right now, and it really is happening like as we speak, well, what are we doing to like, how do we survive this, right? Fighters fight, preppers prepare, and survivalists survive. So how do we like endure the process? All right, so step 1, stocking up on necessities. Like basically, if you were to like think of like a day, a week, a month in the life of you and your family, what is the stuff that you use all the time? So basics like food and water, right? Your super basic essentials: food, water, clothes that you need. Do you really need that new pair of sneakers? Do you really need that nice name brand shirt or whatever? And don't let me sound like I got all the answers, man, because I gotta do a lot of like self-coaching also. My wife does the coaching for me. I make it sound like I do it myself, but she's like, don't you dare buy that. Better not come home with another t-shirt, man. If you walk in here with another t-shirt or another backpack, I swear to God. So I'm still working on it myself. But the necessities that you really need, not the backpacks, not the t-shirts, not your 5 Elements t-shirts, but food, water, first aid supplies, medical supplies, over-the-counter medicines, prescription medicines, fuel. Like that's like, do you need to drive everywhere that you've been going, or could you like kind of scale back a little bit? Could you carpool with somebody else? Could you take your bicycle? Could you walk? I mean, man, I've been doing as much as I can to not drive this thing, as much as I love driving this thing. Are you stocked up on things like, toothbrush, toothpaste? Like if you were going on vacation, the stuff that you would bring because you would absolutely positively need it, that type of stuff. It's summertime now, so we're not so concerned about like a winter storm or something. But hey, right now, if you could get like if you live in an area that does get very cold in the winter, maybe now's the time to stock up on like your heating fuel, like whether you're using kerosene or you use propane or you use you know, a wood burning stove or whatever it is. Now's maybe the time to kind of prep for that stuff when not everybody's out there looking for those things. If you're one of those guys or girls who's thinking like, oh man, if it gets that bad, I'm gonna bug out. Well, maybe now is a good time to check your preps and check your go bag and check those things that, if that's part of your plan, how well are you planning your work so that, God forbid, you have to work your plan. Like, well, man, I check my bag all the time. I know what's in there. I know I don't need to like start fishing through it or adding to it on that moment's notice. I kind of just grab the bag and the bag goes with me, and I got one for me, my wife, the kids, etc. Step 2 is checking your money. So right now, like if I hold $100 in my hand, the value of it is dropping like at a record rate, right? So I'm not the best guy to ask or go to for investment advice. Like I have a Roth IRA that I wish I put more money in sooner and earlier on. And right now I can't stomach looking at the numbers because it's just tanking in the last like year or so. I have, through my police job, I have, I hope there's a pension there when I get there, but I also contribute to like it's like a 401k for government workers. And you know, I put, you know, as much as I could afford into that, and it's consistent. So again, when I look at that, it makes me nauseous because the numbers are way down, but it's like mutual funds and stocks or whatever that somebody way smarter than me manages. And I just put a percentage of my paycheck into that every paycheck. So right now, I guess when things were high, I was buying it at a high price. Now I'm buying it at a low price. And again, do your homework and talk to people who are like in the know as far as like investing. But there are certain things that you could do to almost like really help your dollar go further. Obviously, one, shopping on sale, learning to do without. Like, again, do you really need that stuff? Do you really have to go to that place? Do you really, I really want to go on that vacation, but if I can't swing it right now, if I have to go into debt to do that, no good. Another way to help like protect your money is finding alternate streams of income. So, for instance, my police job, it's a salary. No matter what I do, like I make the same thing. I do a great job, make the same money. Do a terrible job, same money. Unless I work overtime, but I don't always have a lot of time, or the overtime's not always available. So my martial arts school, as the price of a lot of things are going up and up, people who may want to sign up are kind of reluctant because they're kind of like, oh man, I can't see spending almost $200 a month for my kid to take karate or jiu-jitsu or martial arts lessons. So that's kind of suffering a bit, right? Or when we do special events, like the things that are not included in tuition, I try to do fun stuff for the kids and the adults in the school, but those cost money because those things help pay off the bills, and my rent is insane or whatever. But a lot of people are kind of hesitant and reluctant with that as well. So what I got to do instead is like the firearms training. So 5 Elements Tactical really started as firearms instruction. So that right now is through the roof. People will pay me $200 an hour like, oh man, I just bought a gun and I don't know how to use it. I want to be safe with it. Rightfully so. I'm glad they're doing it. And there's a few local gun stores that are really awesome and hand out my card and refer me. But it's like I'm doing 3 times the work for like 3/4 of the money. So if money's super tight, what do? You get out and you grind. You work a little harder to make a little bit extra, and the extra money should pay for the extra things. But even that, I try to allot a piece of that for savings, like savings for like, oh man, I'd like to go do something fun with my family. Savings for like, oh my God, there's going to be that thing that like pops up, the boiler breaks, something breaks on the truck or whatever it is. And then there's the part that I save for like when I'm too old to work and I just can't grind anymore, and I got to take a piece of that and always save it for the real rainy day, which is hopefully a long time from now. And the other part to protecting your money, man, is you got to like, I might catch some flack for this, you got to get rid of debt. There's 2 kinds of debt. So like if you have debt, like I bought something that I really wanted but I didn't have the money to buy it and I'm still paying for that, if it's on a credit card or whatever it is, and you're just paying on like money on top of money on top of money, you're never going to pay that off. So like that kind of debt, man, you got to just like make it a point. Dave Ramsey, there's some stuff that he says that I completely agree with, and some stuff that I kind of agree with, and some stuff I'm like, I'm not really sure about that. But one of the things that Dave Ramsey talks about, and I have a separate video coming up on this, is his debt snowball. And he just says, you got to work super aggressively to get rid of your debt. Now, if you have debt that somebody else is paying off, well, that's great. Like if I'm trying to save up enough money to buy a piece of real estate because that's something that will always be there. And If I could buy something, like whatever it takes for me to get in, and then somebody else is kind of paying the rent, and that rent is paying the mortgage and covering my expenses, well, that's debt that somebody else is paying off, and that's good debt. So if that's the kind of debt you're in, don't let me stop you. But if you're just buying stuff that you can't afford and stuff that I gotta have to keep up with the Joneses, I gotta get the latest and greatest, whatever, you're never going to pay that off. And that's the type of debt that we got to like really work and do our best to chop that down and stop that, because again, as the price of everything goes up and up and up, and our money goes less and less far, well, man, it's going to take even longer to pay that off. So let's make that a priority. 3, stocking up on like your non-perishables. So aside from like all your basic necessities, there's a saying, and I always forget, you know, how, the correct like verbatim way to say it, but you want to like make money, buy tomorrow's groceries today, something like that. Because again, you know, a gallon of milk, you know, I think we just paid $6. I'm like, at what point does it become more cost efficient to have a cow? But shelf stable stuff like rice, beans, pasta, sugar, salt, you know, all your shelf stable canned goods, all that stuff that we talk about on the channel all the time. Look for it on sale, stock up on it now, because when times are hard, or if you lost your job, or like the world did go completely upside down and you couldn't get stuff, you want your preps to like really last you. Remember that it's and again, I don't quote me on this one, the average military aged male engaged in average strenuous activity burns about, I think it's 2,000 or 2,500 calories a day, which comes out to the end number is 750,000 calories per year per person in your house. I'll probably use more than my kids. You know, my wife will use more than her mom who lives with us. So again, you average it out and you go through your preps, like how many calories do we have in stock times how many people, and then divide it, and well, we will be able to survive this many months or this many weeks or this many days or this many years. And just start stocking up on that stuff as well. Buy it now. When you find it on sale, shop at your Costco, your BJ's, your Target, your Walmart, you guys know where to find the deals in your area, but just go to those places and just stock up best you can. Again, without going into debt over it, but look for the sales, use the coupons, stretch your dollar as far as you can. Those rules are always the same, regardless of what the economy is doing. 4, investing in like commodities. Now, again, I'm not the best guy to ask about this. Search Google, search the internet, search YouTube. You know, talk to your friends that are more, you know, professionals or masters of that craft, or again in the know in these areas. But things like we said, gold and silver, stocking up on certain precious metals. Things like cryptocurrency, I don't know much about. Ammunition, I know plenty about. And that's another thing, like I just bought, again, I'm a firearms instructor, and I use it both for training in my police job. I use it for teaching at my police job, and on the side, really more so. And I spent like what I thought were obscene prices, but at least it was available. I understand supply and demand, but I was like, oh, it pained me to spend the money and it pained me to buy it, but I needed it. So I was like, it's here, I'm here, I do have the money. I really would have rather used the money for something else, but at least if I buy it now, I have it. For me, it's almost like a business expense where, you know, if I have students and I can't teach them if I don't have ammunition, or if they don't have ammunition, and one of us has to have it. So again, something like cryptocurrency though, I have a few friends that are big into it, and some have made a lot of money, some have lost a lot of money. Right now it's like way down. I guess it's kind of creeping back up, but again, to me, that stuff, it's not really tangible. If you know more about it than I do, just I'm all for it. I look at it like casino money, which I don't like to go to a casino and I don't like to gamble because I feel like I work too hard for my money. Whereas buying a stock or something like that, where I just kind of let it ride, and it's expendable income that if I lose it, I'll be upset, but I'm not, you know, I'll still be able to feed my kids and my family. Collectibles and things like that kind of hold their value, and things that, again, are tangible that you could sell or barter down the road if you had to. 5. Now make sure, I know this is 5 tips, but I got a bonus one at the end, so stick around. 5 is get out of debt as soon as you can. Again, back to Dave Ramsey, that debt snowball, which again, you could watch it now, go find it somewhere on YouTube or whatever. It's really great stuff, and it really helped me, and I wish that I learned it sooner and followed it sooner. So the debt snowball, which is one of his parts of like, kind of like getting ahead financially, is, let's say you have 5 credit cards, right, or 5 lines of credit that are open, and you owe 1,000 on one, 2,000 on another, 3 on another, 4 on another, 5 on another. What you do is you pay your minimum payments to all of them except for the smallest one. And that smallest one you attack with a vengeance. So all that money you were about to spend on that new pair of sneakers or that latest and greatest, toy or gadget or whatever, you take all that money, you stop going out to eat, you stop going to the movies, you kind of like stop spending. You take that money and you like pay off that lowest one. So once that's done, now you have 4 left. And you pay the minimum payments to all of them except for the smallest one. And you attack that one with a vengeance. And little by little, now you have 3, then you have 2. And I had a lot of little looming debts that I was paying a little bit at a time. And I said, one day when I get some extra money, I'll pay it. Meanwhile, I had money in the bank. I had the money to pay these things off. And I didn't want to not have the money, the money in case I needed it, like on hand. God forbid I could go to the bank and take that money out and buy whatever or pay for whatever the thing was. But what I realized is I was getting less than 1% on my money in the bank, which is, might as well put it under the mattress at that point. Don't really put that under your mattress. And the percentages on these little debts were like, they were never going away. It was going so slow that I just bit the bullet, took the money, and paid off a bunch of stuff. And I was like, relieved. And now when I work like my 3rd job or my 4th job or my 5th job, I grab a security gig, that money goes right back into the savings, and I'm watching my savings go back up way faster than it ever did when I had all those little looming debts. Now, if you are like in way over your head with debt, well, start looking around your house and selling stuff. Or like I'm sure there's a ton of stuff that you bought already that you probably didn't need, probably just sitting around. Maybe it's time to put it on eBay or Craigslist, have a garage sale, whatever, man. Just sell it and chop down the debt. Use that debt snowball. Look into Dave Ramsey. Unless the debt you have is good. If you got debt that somebody else is paying off, don't let me stop you. All right, and the last one, here's your bonus, guys. Learn some skills. Learn some skills. The $200-300 that I spent on the shelves that I put up in my shed, if I paid somebody else to do it, it would have been 3 times that. Usually you ask your local contractor and they're going to say that they usually charge 3 times the materials. Materials and materials. Another third goes to like their business expenses and paying their helpers and their laborers and all that other stuff. And the other third is the part that they got to live on. So if you learn how to do it yourself, your best resource is going to be like your network of friends who are good at doing whatever it is that you need help with. You got a project that needs to be done around the house, on your car, on whatever. Get somebody to help you who knows how to do it. And whether it's for you, barter and give them, help them with something they need help with, or pizza and beer goes a long way after they're done working, then they can have the beer. But in the meantime, you should really be learning the skills so that the next time you're a little bit better prepared. At the very least, you'll be a good helper for them. And then next time you'll be an even better helper, or you'll be able to do more of it on your own. So a real good way is just learning how to DIY, do it yourself. And the more stuff you know how to do yourself, the more money you're going to save. And again, the further you could stretch your dollar. 1, prepare by stocking up on your necessities. 2, keep your money in a safe place. 3, buy and store your non-perishables and stock up on those the best you can, getting the most bang for your buck as you can. 4, invest in some commodities, things that are tangible, things that hold their value, whether it's precious metals or ammunition or lumber or fuel or any of that crypto stuff, which again, I'm not I don't know too much about. And 5, chop down your debt as fast as possible. And again, don't forget to start learning some skills that'll help you save money on whatever thing you're doing. Well, if you made it this far and you like what I'm teaching and preaching, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, like this video. If you're loving it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you gotta have it, make sure you hit the bell notification button and that little thing where it says all notifications, so YouTube will let you know when the next video drops. If you're really digging it and you want more, you can find me on all social media platforms at 5 Elements Tactical. That's all I got for now, warriors. So until our paths cross again, pray for the best, prepare for the rest. I'm Kyoshi Dave Herman with 5 Elements Tactical Training. Thanks for watching.